How does a filmmaker stay proactive in this business and not be passive?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. I've always been proactive. I learned a long time ago to take your own initiative. Don't wait for anyone to give you anything. Go out there and get it. Make your own opportunities. I've learned that if you're not moving forward in this business, you're moving backward. You have to stay on it. After all these years, and I've got features going on and everything, I still, every day, literally just about every day, I'm doing something to further that. New ideas, new concepts, new networking, new contacts, whatever it is, every day I have to stay on it. In terms of how to stay proactive, whatever it is. If you're a writer, keep writing, keep pitching, keep entering more festivals, enter your scripts into coverage, learn from the notes that you get from these people. I mean, just stay on your craft. Directing is the same thing. Keep doing short films, keep working on your demo reel, keep working to get your features together. It's a lot of it sometimes crosses over. Keep going to markets, go to AFM, pitch new material, go to whatever festivals or markets you can afford. I mean, you know, whatever is your specialty, whether it's writing or directing, stay on it every day. I have kids, I'm a very busy guy. I find the time, even if it's late at night. The last couple of scripts that I've written that I sold, I literally wrote overnight. So that's the only time I had. So you do what you gotta do.
Like literally like in the middle of the night?
Overnight.
Oh, wow.
Overnight. And I've been doing that for years. And it's fine, it's not a big deal, but the point is you just do what you gotta do. You stay proactive. If I'm not writing, I'm reaching out to people. I spoke with 3 high-level executives today who responded to my introduction. It's just what you do. I think certainly in this business, it's all too easy to go, I'm tired, I just don't want to this week. I've got 2 side jobs, you know, I'm just tired. I'll get to my script next week. That week becomes a month, that becomes a year, and pretty soon you're like, I've been out here. I made the move to this really expensive, beautiful, but very expensive city, and I don't really do anything film-oriented. Happens to a lot of people. You have to will yourself to do it, and obviously you should love doing it also, but just like anything else, it can be hard work. You may not be in the mood to do film stuff every day. Sometimes I'm not, but if it's not every day, you should continually feel yourself being pushed along. You know, be that guy who like throws the pencils into the ceiling so that when you look up, there's a note that says keep working, you should be working right now, kind of thing. Like, stay on it. It's just like anything else.
When you wrote Escape Room and before you sold it, were you in a place where you're like, this train isn't moving fast enough and I need to do something? Or you were so driven because of like going to this Escape Room and then you're like, okay, let me try to write one for them.
There wasn't any panicked situation. Over the years, I'd quietly resigned myself to at least the possibility that I'll never get a feature made. I'd had so many of my scripts optioned but not financed that I was like, okay, I might just be making my short films for dream seekers forever. And I came to peace with that. I was like, as long as I get to tell stories and produce films and direct films, I'll be okay. It doesn't mean I gave up on trying to achieve my goals, but I came to peace with it. But certainly I think as I started to get older, I said, I gotta make some moves here. I mean, I can't just keep doing what I've been doing. I gotta do something and I gotta make it happen. So I kind of gave myself a deadline. I said, I'm getting the feature done this year. Not necessarily directing it, but I'm gonna sell a script. I'm gonna sell the script this year. And I shifted up my strategy. My strategy became, what do they want? I can't just write for me. What do they want? And I pretty much had an idea through enough meetings, but what I didn't know, I just looked up. Again, just keep your finger on the pulse of what producers are asking for. We like your stuff, but what we're looking for this year is IP-driven content, or whatever it is. And I've been in enough meetings where, in this case, horror, they said, this is what we want. Bop, 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 bop. You know, and if you don't have access to those producers, look at all the hit movies. What do they all have in common? You know, and you find the common denominators and do what you got to do. And for me, that's what I did. I said, this script may not be like genre redefining. It may not be the script I'm most proud of even. I put a lot of myself in it and I made a story that I'm happy with, but this is definitely not a passion project. I wrote this to be sold. This is a business decision. And I wrote it and I sold it. And I learned from that, not necessarily that I'm going to throw all my chips in that basket. This is just business now because it's film. I love it and it's a passion to me and it's creative fulfilling. So I'm not just in it for business. What it has taught me though is to stay proactive as always, but to walk that line. You can always, if you're a millionaire, go make your own passion projects and do it however you want. But if you want to go out and get other people's money, you got to give them a little of what they're looking for. So the challenge becomes to tell really cool, creative, interesting stories within a framework that's going to work for other people. And I think that's a good place to start. And it was a place for me, and we'll see where it takes me.
You had talked about writing overnight. I was wondering if you could just take me through that process. Like, what's it like? When do you start? Is it like midnight? And where are you? And are you playing music? And what are you doing to get yourself in that headspace? And when do you stop?
I learned a long time ago to write wherever and whenever I could. Sometimes there's music on, movie soundtracks, or whatever type of story I'm writing to kind of get me going. Sometimes the kids are sleeping, music goes off. I got to write in silence. Sometimes it's sitting in a car. Sometimes it's at the airport. It's wherever I can. Not everyone's in my boat. With me, I've got a busy family life, which I love to death. But in terms of my writing, it would often be when the kids are asleep and I've gotten house chores done, laundry, and so sometimes
this sounds great.
So there you are. It's like I've worked all day.
Yeah.
I come home, I handle the kids, and there's family time, and you play with your kids. Make sure to give them the time they need, and before you know it, it's 10 o'clock, and you're exhausted. You got to get up at 6 a.m. the next morning. But you got to do your film stuff. You got to stay proactive, as we said. So it might be 10, 11 o'clock. You sit down and you start writing. You find a quiet corner. I have a office at home that I work from. That has become my daughter's room. So now I write kind of anywhere else I can at the kitchen table. Sometimes I'll have music if I'm lucky. Other times I'll keep it quieter. Just a little solitary lamp, and you sit there. In a perfect world, I have all the stuff I need. I just have nowhere to put it right now. I've got my movie posters from my childhood. I've got a necklace with the Orin from Neverending Story. I've got all these things that inspire me. Pirate stuff and Indiana Jones stuff and Lord knows what, all ready to go up in an office so I can sit in the midst of it and just be purely inspired and just go. Right now, I don't have room for it, so I basically sit in my kitchen with my blank beige walls, and I just nothing inspiring there whatsoever, and I just got to rely on what's in here. Well, I'll let the inspiration bubble up from inside, and it's fine. You go to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning, it's not going to kill you. I mean, as they say, I'll sleep when I'm dead, I guess. And the goal ultimately, I think, just like with any filmmaker, is when I have some of my projects coming up that I'm hoping are game changers, it becomes something I can do full time. And then I write during the day and I can sleep at night. But until then, this is just what you do. But I've been doing it for years and I adapted to it a long time ago.